Let's talk about the cost of buying a home. So if you're considering buying a home and you're thinking, I can buy a home with no money down because I hear there's down payment assistance, which there is. There's also USDA homes, which are no money down, but you still need a little money. So let's talk about what that looks like. When you go under contract when buying a home, you're going to write a check to the title company and they're going to deposit that check right away, typically for 1% of the purchase price in earnest money, which we call good faith money. Beyond that, you're going to write a check that covers the option fee, which is typically anywhere from $150 to $500, depending on how many days we need of an option period, what kind of price point that home is that you're buying. So for a first-time home buyer, $150 is $200 at the most should cover it. So we're writing those two checks up front. We're then going to write another check to the inspector because we'll need to do an inspection during your option period to make sure this is really the right home for you or to be able to negotiate any concerns. Get the seller to address those concerns before we move on with the purchase. Your lender's then going to order an appraisal. Some lenders may collect that money up front. So that could be another $600-$700 that you're writing and paying for out of pocket. Beyond that, we are then going to go to closing, and that earnest money and that option money are going to get credited to your closing costs at closing. Now, maybe your agent's able to negotiate to cover your closing costs. And maybe you are doing a no money down. Maybe you're doing a VA with no money down. We could negotiate so that you get the earnest money and the option money back at closing. You never know. You just want to work with your agent and your lender for your goals. But it's true, we could get that money back at closing. Keep in mind, we need the money up front, though, to do the process. So about, 1% plus another $1,000 or so for all those things. But if you're doing maybe conventional, so 5%, 10%, 20% down, FHA is a 3.5% down. You will need the down payment at closing for those. Again, earnest money can be applied if your closing costs are being paid for by the seller. Closing costs, let's talk about that. So typically you're looking at about 2 to 3% of the purchase price in closing costs. Those closing costs include fees that the title company is going to pay and your lender is going to pay. Now, if you're using cash to purchase, then your closing costs are very minimal. The title company is going to charge an escrow fee, which is typically $500 to $700 to handle the transaction, and then some miscellaneous costs to get you to the closing table. So I know this is a lot of numbers. I threw a bunch out there, but get with your agent. They'll break it down for you. A good agent will do that in the initial buyer consultation with you, and so that when you understand and you could decide, great, I have the money, let's start looking. Or maybe, no, I need to save up. Either way, it's okay. We're on your timetable. So just understand we're here to help you with whatever that is.